Hi everybody, I'm Taylor and this is take two with this mess. The first time around it didn't record the audio because I'm a rookie and well, yeah. Alright, so I promise I'll be crankier this time around because I have to do this all over again. I did the entire video, I recorded things, I put it into iMovie and then I realized I had no damn sound. So, this is my weekly comic book review show. And yeah, calling it a show makes it seem weird to me, at least, because, I don't know, show just seems legit, I guess. And what I've just been doing is showing off the comics I bought during the week and going over what I thought of them. And that's kind of what I'm doing this week as well. But I guess it's a show. I do it every week, right? It's a weekly show. I don't know. Seems like that's the right word, but it just seems too grown up and professional. And trust me, what you're about to watch is not going to be grown up or professional. It's going to be a hot mess. If the first take was any indication, and trust me, it was. So, all right, let's do this, and I'll try and cut some of the time down a bit because, well, like I said, it's my second time, so it should be much, much better. It won't be. All right, worst to best comics of the week. I got a stack to get through, so we're gonna go through this together, folks, and I'll try to remember to do this to all of them. This is Werewolf by Night #1, and this is a hot mess. It is awful. I really dislike this. The writing is all over the place and just kind of incoherent and babbly and rambly and not in a good way. It's just clunky, very clunky. The only thing I liked is they sort of took the Werewolf by Night and now it's a Native American and like it ties I think into that a bit and that's kind of cool. But the rest of this, no, 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 no. It's not good. It's just really not. I think it's written by somebody in some band. It doesn't matter, but like, or at least co-written. But I didn't care for it. All right. This, in case you can't tell by the Alex Ross Timeless variant cover, and you won't be able to tell by the Alex Ross Timeless variant cover because there's no damn information on the Alex Ross Timeless variant cover. Is Excalibur some issue of something? X of Swords, 10 of Swords. God, is it bad. I mean, it's just that, yeah, like I said, I'll be crankier this time around. But I swear they're just writing like the 4 pages on repeat of Betsy and Brian fighting over who's going to do the sword thing. That's kind of it. There's other stuff in there, but like, it's a jumbled mess. And again, it just doesn't, no. I've not read Excalibur up until this point, so I'm a little lost. That said, it's a giant crossover event. You should like compensate for a little of that, folks, and assume that like not all of us are going to be following along this stupid book, and like do something about it and make it make a little bit of sense. But yeah, it's really like I swear I thought like there was page errors and I kept just reading the same pages, or I thought I was like falling asleep and like skipping over and I'm like oh I just read that. No, it's ugh. No, thank you. Maestro, #3. You know how Peter David, when you write, if you've ever read any of his stuff, it'll take a turn. It'll start off kind of straightforward and kind of fun, and then it'll just take a turn. That's the issue where it takes a turn. It's, nope. Like, it's kind of like Jump the Shark, if you're old enough to know what that meme is. If not, yeah, and if you're old enough to know where the meme came from, you're really damned old. But, yeah, it's I don't know, Hercules is in it. Not to do spoilery stuff too much. And it's just not. No, I'm not going to finish the miniseries. I was kind of actually, like, sort of looking forward to, like, figuring out, like, what made the Hulk so apathetic and like, sinister. And not just kind of dumb and hulky or whatever. But not this way. Like, honestly, this version that the Peter David is telling, it's not for me. And even though it'll be canon probably and, like, be the actual story of the Maestro, and there'll probably be something like Maestro slash like what's the new Indestructible Hulk? What's the new one? Unkillable Hulk, Immortal Hulk, whatever. They'll probably end up duking it out somehow in some weird ass way in 2021. I don't care. I just don't. It's not good. It's just like it just seems like like sophomoric storytelling, and not in a fun way. It's just kind of in a what in the hell way. Okay. Dune, one of the most beloved sci-fi novels of ever, and soon to be a probably gorgeous major motion picture. This, I think, is a prequel. It does not make me excited for the movie. It just makes me go, "Oh, it's going to be weird political intrigue and you know unresolved things and quick cuts back and forth to things and stuff." Some of that's the way it's drawn on the inside. This is Jay Lee's cover. Jay Lee's cover is great, but like the interior, some of the characters look alike, and it's kind of tricky to tell what the hell's going on with that. They also have sci-fi names, and like it definitely, 60s sci-fi names. I never read the original, dude. I tried a couple times. I tried, folks. There's some other channel where they're going through it on a monthly, like weekly, doing chapter stuff. I can't remember what that channel's called. Comic Review, something or something. I don't know. I watched one of them. That's kind of fun. They get away from the book a bit and tangent on other things, which I understand because after reading this, I really wanted to get away and do other things and not read comics anymore because no. Okay, these are some. That's the truly awful. Oh no, wait, there's another one. Sorry, I wish there wasn't, but there is. I really wanted to like this book. Phantom Starkiller #1. Scout Comics, Black Caravan, something or other. It's their imprint within an imprint within a whatever. It's gorgeous. The cover's cool. The figure looks great. It is not a good comic. I mean, if it's a parody, it's not enough of one. If it's straightforward, it's just bad. It's got some of the worst internal and external monologues I've read in like 20 years, and that's saying something. You can tell they're ripping off or riffing on or something from Star Wars. And like it just sort of strikes me, and this might be because I think that the writer started off with this as an action figure bootleg. And it's a cool looking bootleg, a cool looking figure, a cool looking book. The art is gorgeous, but like, anyways, the story just kind of reminds me of those free comics you would get in He-Man, with He-Man. If you ever had the original He-Man figures, they came with like a little, like the first generation of these came with little comics telling the story. Not really well done, but it was just kind of trying to sell the toy. And I got a feeling that might be what's going on here, but it's just, yeah, I really wanted to like it. I think it's a cool cover, and it's like everything I wanted to like about like things like spacey sci-fi fantasy is my jam. Just not this one. Sorry. Middle of the road. Justice League, Starro is in this. Lex is in this. He might or might not be evil, and whatever. It sort of ties into death metal. Or Deceased, or whatever the heck. Are Deceased and Death Metal the same thing? I can't even tell. There's too much DC crap going on right now, too. And they have the dumbest names for things. Like, Deceased and Death, and they're concurrently running, and the titles are all similar. I think they're tied in, aren't they? Or is it two different things? Are Deceased and Death Metal not tied in together? Okay. I know that has nothing to do with this issue. But also, I was like, oh, which does this tie into? If either. It's fine. It's not horrible. It's Josh Williamson. I think he's just an interim writer on it. It's hard to get me to care about Justice League. And this book sort of didn't still yet. There's my dog barking. That's what this video needs. All right. Speaking of middle of the road, I'm sick of Venom. Donny Cates has this book going like all over the place from issue to issue, and like at a breakneck pace with no breaks in the action for the past couple. And there's like new characters and alliances shifting, and the characters aren't who you think, and then there's other twists and there's so many damn twists and turns in here. It's hard to keep up, and like they're not overly clever. They're just kind of there, and then I don't know. I'll keep reading it, but it's starting to lose me. And also the variant covers and like the 4,000 different versions of the things and like the speculator stuff. That's not helping with it. I get it doesn't necessarily have to do with the story, but oh, holy crap. Like, holy crap. Yeah, I don't know. Anyone else feeling Venom burnout? Or have you read this? And am I just nuts? And am I just tired today? I don't know. Let me know. Leave comments. You can leave comments about anything. Any of these books, please let me know if I'm right on, or if I'm horribly mistaken, or whatever. Just comment. Okay. Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn. This is not bad. I did not read the Batman the White Knight, so I don't know what the hell's going on necessarily. It's enough. I know it's an alternate telling or alternative history or whatever not canon, not part of the the main DC universe. I don't think. Mateo Scalera did the art. He did art on what Black Science that Rick Remender wrote a couple years ago. I think, right? Yeah, I think so. That book was gorgeous. This book is gorgeous. I don't mind it. It's Harley Quinn before she truly became Jokered, whatever. Um, brilliant psychoanalyst, psychologist, helps out the cops. Bruce Wayne's in jail for some reason. Like I said, I did not read White Knight. I might go back if it's collected in a trade paperback or something, and I don't know if it is or not. I haven't looked, but I might pick it up. This is intriguing enough where I'm like, oh, I should probably actually go read, what this is and how it came to be. So I might do that. If there might be a future video on something like that. We'll see. We'll see, people. I'm really just kind of winging it, in case you couldn't tell. So, Robin King. It's more of the Robin King. DC is really trying to. You can just okay, like how like a character comes about or the name comes about or even just a cover, and then all of a sudden like they're everywhere. I don't think it's necessarily all planned. I think this is sort of this throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. But I think DC's like, oh, we need another new bad, and like. Yeah, that Robin King, that's got a ring to it. We're going to do that, and we're going to take the origin. Then we're going to redo the origin and make it a little longer and go to kind of the motivations of what's driving this Robin King and how he's able to take down all the superheroes. That's what this is. It's not bad. It's just, it seems a little forced, I guess. The art's a little still cartoony for my liking as far as the tone of the book and the story. It's not awful. It's the same artist. Again, I can't remember the name. The same one that did the first appearance of Robin King and the other one-shot thing. Whatever it was called. The one that had a dinosaur. Dinosaur Batman. Or Dinosaur Batman Who Laughs or whatever. Yeah. Not bad. Just not fantastic. And like, it'll be interesting to see if if Robin King, what they do with him going forward. I don't think he's a bad character. It's just, how many twisted versions of Batman-y related things can you have? We're all going to find out, because DC's got to keep throwing them at us. All right. Speaking of Batman. Batman 101, the aftermath of the Joker War. Yeah, this is an aftermath comic. It's a everything's going to change in Batman's life, but not 100%. He's moving to the city, so he'll be city Batman instead of suburb Batman. And he fights the grifter for no real reason. Even they admit there's no real reason. Like, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, all right. I think there's really wanted to pull the grifter in somehow and and make you buy that variant cover that had the 1 in 25 of the grifter on it. So if you did, yeah, it's fine. It's a filler issue. I generally like what Tynion's doing on Batman, and I'll keep going with it. It's just kind of, this is one of those where, like, if you skip this issue, it really wouldn't matter that much. All right, in this one, I was really eloquent the first time around and had some legitimate complaints and praise and everything else. Let's see if I can pull that out of my ass again. That is, in case you can't tell, you probably won't be able to tell, Fantastic Four number 25. I've not been following Fantastic Four because it's Dan Slott, and Dan Slott normally bugs the shit out of me, and I just don't really enjoy his writing generally. However, I picked it up because it had Black Bolt on the cover. I like Black Bolt, and Black Bolt is not in this damn comic at all. That's my issue with some of these timeless, immortal Alex E. Ross variants. A, you don't know what the book is because, whatever. And B, the characters aren't in the book usually. Like, there was no Nightcrawler in the Excalibur. There's no Black Bolt in this one. It's just Alex Ross wants to paint something sort of kind of related, and I don't blame the man. He just probably didn't want to paint stuff. Or Marvel said, hey, paint a bunch of characters and we'll slap them on a cover. So he painted a bunch of characters and they're slapping them on covers. But it'd be nice. And it'd be nice. Remember the old days when comic covers related to the comic? Like, the Silver Age, they called it possibly, or Bronze, or Gold, where you sort of had some idea of what was going on in the cover. It might have been a little misleading on purpose, but you still were like, oh, that character's going to be in there. That's kind of cool. I'll pick it up. That is not this. That is not anywhere in the general, mainstream consciousness of Marvel or DC anymore. Well, Marvel's worse at it, I think. They just kind of, have these variants that are all over the map, and, they'll just throw them on the, say, oh, now we're going to have Fortnite variants. Really? Okay, and I know that has nothing to do with this issue. So let's talk about this issue a little bit. It's surprisingly okay. Like, it's not bad. It's a good Fantastic Four story. It's a family drama, and it doesn't feel like sloppily written. It's kind of feels like legitimately earned family drama. There is a cosmic being that's gonna mess stuff up if not taken care of. There's Doctor Doom. There's yeah, it's an enjoyable issue. I'm not gonna keep following Fantastic Four. I just don't trust Dan Slott, and I don't have the money to throw at it. I mean, if I were getting it for free, or if I like could get review copies, I'd definitely read it and review it. But I am not gonna keep up at it. I just can't afford to. And yeah, one other note: the artist, who I don't remember who it is, really draws Mr. Fantastic to look Reed Richards to look a whole lot like John Krasinski. And I don't know if that's a hint or a sign of the future or MCU stuff, but just wanted to point it out. That said, yeah, this is a surprisingly decent issue. So there you go. All right. And I know I was just bitching about how comics had nothing to do with the interior. This one sort of does. It's XMen, 10 of Swords. I'm going to say 10 of Swords, right? It's 10 of Powers of 10, 10 of Swords. Part, I don't care. Part whatever. 10. Hey, yeah, 10. So 10 of Swords, part 10, X-Men 13. Good luck keeping all that in your head. Apocalypse, coming back from the brink of death because one of his kids hurt him emotionally and physically. And yeah, it's decent. You can tell this is like Hickman's writing this, and you can tell it's his event. It's like feels like it fits better than some of the others did, especially like the Excalibur hot garbage that that was. It didn't seem like it fit into anything. This fits in. It sort of fits in like as it's like one of the core books to read, obviously, and it's one of the core event titles. So yeah, I liked it. The sword that Apocalypse goes in after, I think it's a bit of a retcon, and they kind of retcon Apocalypse's past, but that's not bad. That's kind of the Hickman way of things. He just takes the things, and suddenly Gold Ball has Gold Ball babies or eggs, and now Apocalypse has wife and stuff. Maybe he did. There's years where I was not reading this stuff, called the 90s. So if I'm mistaken and this is not really a retcon of Apocalypse, let me know in the comments below. But enjoyable. I'll keep up with the Ten of Swords event. It's I think we're halfway through it already, almost, and it's going by quickly. And I'm just looking forward to the battle books. That's kind of the fun parts of the events is where things fight things, and the heroes lose all the time, and then at the end they pull it out by the skin of their ass. Not that that's probably what's going to happen in this, but that's probably what's going to happen in this. So, all right. Look, another one. Okay, so not all the comics don't relate. The covers don't, sometimes relate to what's going on in the book, even if it's a little misleading. This is one of those. There's Spider-Man. There's Daredevil. Spider-Man's in the Daredevil book, but it's not quite what you think, so it's a little misleading. Daredevil's going to be on trial for murder or manslaughter or something because he killed somebody accidentally whilst being Daredevil. Read the annual first. Not that it ties into this issue a whole lot, but there's a spoiler at the end that if you don't read the annual, you'll be like, what the hell? So read the annual. This is well written. This is Zdarsky, and I love his Daredevil. And this is, again, kind of a fillery or slower paced. Yeah, a little fillery issue. A little bit. But it's more like trying to step back away from the Daredevil versus a bad guy. And Daredevil's trying to step back and think, how can I solve some of the root problems of this city? And it's an interesting take on it. Kind of like what Batman should do with his billions of dollars, although Daredevil doesn't have billions of dollars, so he's trying to figure out how to solve giant problems without giant resources. So he's calling in his giant resources friends. So kind of interesting. All right. The other end of the spectrum, but still really fun. And these next three could all probably be the book of the week. They're not. There's one at the end. But Scumbag. Okay. Have you ever been to a dive bar in Wisconsin? If so, the main character is probably there. It's just maybe slightly a parody of what happens if you go to a small-town dive bar around these parts, but it's pretty accurate. This character's a piece of shit in a good way. It's just kind of like a misogynistic, addled, alcoholic, road-weary biker asshole character. Part of my language, no part of my language, whatever. If you're watching this video, you'll know I sometimes let fly the swear words of war. But yeah, it's Rick Remender and I can't remember the artist on this. I should La Rosa. It's fun. This character, the scumbag, has to somehow save the world, and this is like the setup of it, how he gets the ability or the means to save the world. I guess I don't want to spoil it a whole lot. It's kind of fun how it happens, and it's a good first issue. It's what a first issue should be. It's like, oh yeah, like I want to see what nonsense happens after this, and there will be nonsense because it's definitely an over the top kind of action comedy, gross out book. And if you like that kind of thing, this is for you. If you don't like lowbrow humor and violence and that kind of stuff, this isn't going to be it for you. But if you're into some of that, like this, pick this up. Okay, next. This is what a good second issue should be. Stillwater 2. I really liked the first issue of Stillwater, where you end up in Stillwater, not Stillwater, Minnesota. Stillwater, Minnesota is rather dull, and it is a suburb of the Twin Cities. No matter what the denizens of their say, I don't care if it was around first. It was Stillwater existed before St. Paul, I guess, but it doesn't matter. You're still a suburb. The big boys came and they're encroaching on you, and it doesn't matter. Never mind. That's a different story. I used to live over in those parts. Stillwater. Strange things are afoot. People have powers. They don't seem to die. And the main character gets drawn there first because someone claiming to be his mom sent for him. This is what happens next. I spoiled the first issue a little bit. If you're not caught up, sorry. It's still worth reading, even though I gave you that little spoiler. I won't spoil what happens in this one. But, yeah, it's sort of the next step, and like whether or not the main character, what the main character is going to do next, I guess. Worth reading. Fun. Enjoyable. A delightful romp with tinges of Twilight Zone and, that kind of stuff. Art is fairly simple in a good way, right? It reminds me kind of Chris Samney. It's Ramon Perez, yeah. But, not overly convoluted line work. Really nice coloring, too. The coloring I noticed in a good way, like, warm tones, cool tones when needed and stuff, or when the story called for it. And, yeah. Pick it up. Stillwater number 2. All right. My actual pick of the week, though. Book of the week. Sorry, pop culture philosopher. If you happen to watch this, I don't mean to wipe your pick of the week words. Like I said, I'll have to come up with something better. Winder's Weekly. Nope. That's not it. That's gonna be horrible too. All right, my book, most enjoyable read of the week. And sorry if you're hearing my dog running around upstairs. It's raining out and he's got nowhere to go. So, Shadow Service, number 3. By Scott and Howell and Farrell and World. And I don't remember who's what on there, and I don't remember any of the first names. But this is fun. It's like if you took John Constantine and kind of mixed him with Jessica Jones, and then turned her into a super spy. You kind of have this. Not necessarily super spy, but like being recruited by an intelligence agency that's made to fight evils of the world. And then you have kind of this character who's not always so nice and doesn't like to play by the rules. She's full of spitfire and whatever. She does her own thing. Yeah, I like this a lot. I'm hoping it's an ongoing series. If not, I hope they do like more than one volume of it. I know this is not the end issue for sure, but I just hope I hope this team sticks around, and I can see them having like a lot of stories to tell regarding this, and I look forward to I look forward to reading more of it. So there you go. That's my book of my weekly book of the. Yeah, I'll work on what I'm calling it. And sorry about the dog again. So yeah, that's about it. As always, guys, don't be a dick. Wait, over there. See the camera reverses things. I'm hoping the sound recorded this time, because if not, I'm just going to bang my head on this table for 20 minutes. You can watch that instead. Yeah, what else? Auction. I know we've been kind of lacking on them. There's going to be one this Sunday. Chubby Pop Chasers channel, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. I'll be on there. I'll have books to sell and stuff and things. It'll be a good time. Come hang out. I'd love to see you. Any proceeds from like the auction or from T-shirt sales that are available on TaylorWinder.com or anything along those lines just kind of goes to help support this at this point. It's an expensive little thing, endeavor going on. Like, I don't get paid or I don't get free review copies or any of this. I'm kind of just buying all these books out of my pocket And I'm spending a lot on mystery boxes, and I know I'm slowing down on some of that because they're exhausting and they're a lot of money, and you don't always get your money's worth. And I don't know. I'm just tired of them. I do still have a fair amount coming, but I'm just not going to buy like every single box that comes out, and I'm not going to keep up with some of the ones I have been buying, just because they're not all that good, and some are downright bad. And I don't want to like turn into the guy that's like the Yelper of mystery boxes, where wrecking small Instagrammers' little hopes and dreams because I'm not liking what they put out. And so I'm trying to figure out something else. Probably a little more in the review angle of things and a few things along those lines. So if you enjoy some of this kind of stuff, and you have any recommendations for me to do like longer term reviews or like trade paperback reviews or like collected issue reviews, let me know. I might not take your advice because I might not be the kind of thing I'm into reading, but I'm always open to it and I'll consider it. So yeah, leave a comment, say hi, and yeah, this is not live, even though there's the StreamYard logo in the corner. I just didn't pay for StreamYard, and so that logo is going to be there because the StreamYard wants like $30 a month for me to get rid of that logo, and that's just not worth it to me. So pretend it's not there, or pretend it is. I don't care. Anyways, yeah, watch the debates tonight instead of this because that's why I'm doing this earlier, so I can watch the debates tonight because they're going to be a hot mess, and like the rest of this country, it's all a hot mess. Anyways, have a good day, folks. And as always, don't be a dick.